Hey everybody, it's Tammy. Thanks for joining me today. I'm going to be working on my journal that I'm working on right now. It's a big, fat, chubby journal. It's a fantasy. It belonged to a girl named Felicity in 1873, and I am having a lot of fun just building this and filling it and creating a story for someone from my imagination. And this is going to be spread number 2. I've already done another spread, and I'll leave the link to that in case you missed it and you want to follow along. So I'm about maybe 3/4 of the way through the book now, and you can see that it's getting nice and fat. And so it's going to be nice and big and very filled and very decorated, because this journal is meant to be one that was used by someone in the past. So it's not empty for using. What I'm going to do with this first, I've done the gluing and folding, joining method. So there's no sewn in signatures. All the pages are just folded and glued together, which I really like, because then the whole thing grows, the spine grows. It's not a pinched spine and then, like sticking way out like that. It's just, it grows with the journal, and I really like how that works out. So this is how I've joined this page. This is just a new envelope that I had from a birthday card. It's just a pretty mint with a tiny bit of a design, and then I've attached it with this, and then I've attached that with another strip to this page. I've already done this journal entry on here from July, and something about her mother and lavender and whatnot. So I'm trying to make the handwriting look nice and neat, as handwriting I think was back then. Like my handwriting is very messy now, but when I was taught, we were taught to write things very neatly and nicely. I've got a loose plan of what I'm going to do here. I'm going to do some decorating and journaling in it, but not I don't want every page to be the same, and I don't want everything to be too labor intensive, or it's going to take me 5 years to make, and I'm already thinking about the next one. So there's no way I want that. And I'm just using my walnut stain to grunge the center and make this look nice and good. I'm gonna do the same to the envelope. I think I have a plan. Yes, I do have a plan for the envelope. And so when I'm inking, I'm being rough so that I curl some of the pages. I want it to be a bit bent. Sometimes it's hard to just rip and bend, on purpose, but if you just go along and you're rough with it, then it rips, and then you don't have to have that moment of, because sometimes it's hard to rip things that aren't ripped when you want to make them look old and authentic. I've got some nice papers to go inside this. This is a lot of supplies that I already had. Pages and papers, digitals, things that I printed. I've found lots of things online for free, because there's just so much stuff. There's more than you could ever use in your entire lifetime. I've made a bunch of these, pre-made a bunch of these to go on the tops and bottoms throughout this book. So I'm down to my last few here, which is great. So I'm going to go with this one, and I've left the edges scrappy and vintage. So I've just gone and sewed along a piece of paper and ruffled it on my machine as I go. And I really love the way it looks. This is just torn fabric. It's really fun to cut and rip fabric, so that's what I did. And then it always leaves a bunch of kind of things at the edges as well, because this is supposed to be 150 years old now, I guess. And I imagine that Felicity's great grandchildren. Oh, I'm showing you this page because I have to line this up. Great-grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren, I guess, would have looked at this, and it's been in the family. So it's been well loved and used and looked at. Okay, so that looks good. I really love sewing these onto strips like that because it just goes on so nice and quick. Now, what else was I going to do? Oh, yes, I have a bunch of pretty things here. And I have this paper that I sort of created with AI for the wall calendar that I was making for one of the months, and I used some of it, but I had too much. So I thought, you know, it's the colors are really pretty, and I want the journal as the time goes through the summer, because this is only through the summer that this journal is existing. Oh, good grief. Come on. Try harder, ruler. So I wanted the style papers to, they can be similar because, you know, it was only a summer in her life. But I do want it to sort of look like she found new things as the summer progressed. So I brought some different things out to introduce to the journal so that it could feel like it wasn't just one static thing, and because I think that's, you know, that's not really realistic. But it's harder when we have all the supplies. You can just do the same thing the whole way through and then not realize, oh, this is a music page from this side. So I got to be careful with that because it's delicate. It's authentically old music paper. Now I have some, if you saw the last spread that I did for this, Felicity's journal, I was talking about this beautiful, those paper doilies that I had and the packaging that they came in. So this was one, I'm almost using all of the packaging. It's this beautiful light olive green, and that's what it was on that side. Anyway, I'm not cutting that right, but I wanted to do some kind of collage with this. And now I'm starting to forget what I was gonna put together. And yeah, that's what I want to do with that. I'm using my tacky glue through this whole book. I mean, I love glue sticks, but I do find that things warp a bit more when you use a glue stick. And I just didn't want the book getting too unruly and bent. I mean, I do want it to be a bit, but sometimes with glue stick, it just gets a little too much. And then, you know, and if you have something, I can put it under my cutting mat to flatten it out. But in the case of this book, I cannot. So that's why I'm doing it this way. Now, I think I don't know. I was just going to do something like this. Just kind of some layered. This I've put on with a brad, and maybe I think I'll punch a hole through the whole thing. I mean, I don't really need to. I could just glue it. These are just getting down to the last bits and scraps. Yeah, that looks okay. Let's get out our little poker. Careful not to poke your hand on the other side, and I speak from experience. This is just a tiny scrap of fabric that I had left from some fabric pockets that I made for this, and then I little circle punched just a hole this is from some other kind of packaging that I had. So I thought that looked pretty fine. Then let's grunge this up. Also, these bits in here. And I don't mind doing this after the fact, like the ripped edges. I just do it after the fact. And I'll even put this over the fabric. Try to get it, oh yeah, that looks good. Try to get it on the edge of that. So And this paper is a little shiny, but it still seems to be taking. I'm gonna put this up here, and then I think I was gonna put some of this beautiful stuff down. Yeah. Okay. So maybe I'll just go on. I just want it to be coming to the edge of this pretty paper. It's kind of a lacy design. And I'm gluing this down well, but also I am not gluing it, you know, perfectly, because obviously something of the age that I'm wanting it to be, if it was taped or glued, I don't know, like it would be very weathered by this point. I know a lot of the tape would have just, I don't even know if they had tape in 1873. Please excuse my ignorance. It's just my fantasy, right? So, but I know that anything that would have been attached, you know, the adhesive would have worn off. Let's go in here and here. This is just beautiful kind of trimmy stuff that I bought online. There is no end to beautiful trims and laces that you can use. It's again, you know, there's more supplies than you could ever use in your lifetime. Okay, that looks pretty. Let me see. Yeah, that looks nice. There's a tiny bit of, ooh, I got glue on there. There's a tiny bit of white. So I'll just go in like this, just smush it in. Then I'm gonna also darken this up. Push it down while I'm waiting for my glue to dry. Yeah, that's pretty. I imagine this could be like some, you know, like a wallpaper. I know they were very into wallpapers at that time, and things were very decorated and opulent decorations. I love that time period. I'm not really a fan of stark white stainless steel the way things are a bit more now. I love the old decorated colors. So I'm gonna rip this a little bit. There we go. Okay, so that's just a pretty little thing at the top, and I imagine some wallpaper. Then this envelope that I've already made, roughed it up, I've got an idea for this. Now I have made, what have I got? Oh yeah, here. So I have some vellum, and I made a couple little pockets. This is just a strip of vellum. I folded it up, folded this down, put some double-sided tape under here, and then glued this on. Modern day thing, but I tried to grunge it up, but that's okay. And then I imagine that this is, you know, some little treasures that she found. You know, it's brand new, but that's okay. These are just some things I had printed from online, little bunnies and pretty double-sided. I glued them onto some pretty paper, that Stampieri paper. So, and then I've grunged it, and it's all nice and crinkly sounding. And I think this says flower seeds. That's nice. I think I'm going to leave this because, I don't know, it's pretty, and there's a little bit of a design at the bottom. And there's going to be more on the other side. So, let's see. Let's just round. Oh, I know what I was gonna do. Yeah, see, I plan this out, and then I can't leave it too long, or because then I go ahead and I make the next pages because it's fun and I don't want to stop. And then I come back to it, and I can't wait too long because I start to forget. what I was going to do, but it is coming back to me now. It's all coming back. I wanted to have a little pocket out of this at the top, and maybe I'll just punch it because then it makes the pocket easy to use and see, and then you get to grunge that up too. So that looks really pretty. These beautiful Stamperia papers. So I want to have this in here and just sitting out over top like that. And I think that's the only thing I'm going to put in this pocket at the moment. I know, I think I'm going to do something. I'm going to try something. I have these little bulb pins that I hardly ever use. And I have this really cool, what is this? I know there's some kind of name for this, like feathery yarn, something like that. And I think it looks pretty, and it should be in this page. So I'm going to cut a bit of it. And then I also have, oh dear, I got stuff, pencils, and I'm just going to make a cute little thing. And then I think I'll hang it off this, because yeah, at these times, like, it starts to get tricky attaching things or hanging things, especially because I don't want to add to the thickness too much, because I don't want the book bulging like, you know, a ridiculous amount. Like, some bulge is good, but you know, I still do want it to be able to kind of have a shape. So I'm just winging this. I wasn't gonna do this, but I pulled this feathery yarn out last night because I forgot I had it, which is usual for me and maybe all of us. We have stuff and then we forget that we have it, and we find it, we go, oh yeah, I remember getting that. What was I gonna do with it? I don't know. But now I'm using it. So if I could just get this on there. Yeah, that's cute. One more thing I'm going to put on this is this is like jute twine with leaves. And there's an end somewhere. Of course, the end is, oh, there we go. Of course, the end is in the wrong spot. I think I'll just go with this. And it is going to come apart, so I'm going to have to tie this. Otherwise, it won't hang on my pin. It will just fall off. It will unravel and fall off. This is so, I cut this. This is hard. Okay, there you go. So now I can tie a little knot. And then this can go on here. Oh yeah, that's cute. Then how about if this still needs to open. So how can I do this? I could hang it off the bottom, or I could hang it off the top, and then I think I'm just gonna not overthink this. I'm just gonna put it on. Get this little tiny thing. So that's cute. You can still open this up and get your things, and hopefully this, you know, you can't be too rough with the vellum, but I am pleased that I think that looks super cute. So my pocket is glued down. Now I can put my vellum thing in it with my cute little things. So that's sweet for that page. Then when you turn this over, I'm going to take this out for the moment so that I can put this on straight. When you turn this over, I've made something else. I've got this paper. I changed it in Canva to this color because this journal is the purples and greens. And I've done just a template. I just put the paper on this side and traced around and then cut it. So I've got that for that, and then I've got that for inside here. And I think I'm just gonna break my little rule, and I think I'm gonna go with my glue stick, because especially to get this one in, when I put the tacky glue on, it's gonna wanna dry fairly quickly, and then it will be very awkward to try and maneuver it in there. So I need a little bit of grace. And this is kind of good. This glue gives you, it's purple before it dries. So how's that? Ooh, a big glob. How's that looking from that side? Needs to go down a tiny bit. If it dries, oh my goodness, look at me. I do this every time, don't I? I'm a little bit messy with my supplies. So that looks fine. Then let's go in with this. This may not stick super duper good, but I'll deal with that later if that happens. So then you just gotta slide this in fairly quickly. Come on, there we go. Okay, that's good. Now I can see that this is a bit crooked, but it's too late. So that's fine. I will ink down that. And we'll try to rough this up a tiny bit as well. And there's even some glue on there, which is taking more of the color, which is actually good, because it will make it more uneven and more realistic. Because things need to be more non-perfect when they're at this stage in their lives. Oh, and look, this is coming up a little bit too. So let's ink that a bit. I'm going to do a tiny bit down the center in black, just because that's very white. Oh yeah, that's better. It's too white. Okay, I like that. And then just a little bit more of this. Ooh, yeah. Okay, this is always fun. You know, you plan it out and you think how it's going to turn out, but it's fun to actually get to it. So we've got that pocket. So I've also made another vellum pocket, and this I just folded, glue, and then I glued a little flap, of which I did a little collage on and roughed it up a bit too. These are little printables that I had from ages ago. I have rivets. I bought rivets, and I don't have a rivet setter, so I can't pull too hard. I tried to squish it with my crocodile, but I think it needs, you need to hammer it or use the thing, and I have not. And just that little lace there. I've made some names of butterflies or butterfly-ish type things on these, and they're kind of fun because they flip, and then they just go nicely into that, which is going to live in here, and then just stick out a bit like that. Then I'm going to I have a tiny little modern day numbers, like some kind of, oh, I think we'll put this side up. Some kind of, it's not a barcode, but it's just some kind of lot number or something. So I want this on here, and then I'm going to put the lace. Yeah, the lace, just a piece of lace on top of that. This book has a lot of variety in it, so I'm really making myself, I'm watching other videos, getting ideas, I'm making myself try different things or make sure that I'm not doing everything the same. You know, trying to just stretch the style and the content. Whoop. Okay, that looks pretty. And that might not be perfectly straight. Well, now that I've used that on the other side, I want to have some on here. This neato stuff. So I'm just going to put a few dabs and then just see how this will, you know, it's quite, it comes all twisted up. So that's fine. I just need it to behave itself enough to be glued down. But that looks really nice. I like that. And this is starting to unravel at the bottom, so I'll just hold it. There's a little bit of glue there. I'll just hold this for a second. Here's just a really pretty little bird cage cutout that I've done, that I've cut out of the Stamperia page that has all these images that you can use. So I did want it to just hang over this a little bit, but I put glue, I think. I just need to make sure that, yeah, that the glue isn't going to stick onto that and then it will dry. So I think that looks nice and it's finished and this is beautiful. I'm just going to snip that. Maybe I'll take this out as well, just until we're finished. And I've got this page. This is beautiful paper. I've done my journal entry already. I'm going to, oh yeah, I need to grunge that page up, obviously. And she talks about her papa is speaking less than usual because his brother is away and something's maybe happened and he's getting letters about it, and so he's very concerned. I'm using this walnut stain, and then sometimes I'll go wet as well with, I don't know if you'll be able to see this. Oop, antique linen. So that's a nice color as well. It's just makes a page less white. It's fun. The more you rough up these pages, the more crinkly sounding they get. The more they just sound different and I imagine old. Last thing here, let's see if I can remember what I was gonna do. That would be nice. I have some more cutouts from the Stamperia papers, little butterflies, and I have this nice thing, and I thought this could just be a pretty page as well, and it says memories at the bottom. So I will go over that. I've got another one of these. I actually did this like this, and then I decided I wanted to have it a corner because, you know, I'm trying to change it up. So all I did was just snipped this, and then I just folded the paper on and then glued it like that. That's great. And then I can have my threads up there. Ooh, okay, I'm gonna go and just do a bunch of gluing now. Okay, so I've made this page just a pretty kind of a torn page paper collage with these butterflies, and I don't know if you can see, but they're kind of, you know, lifted off the page a little, so that looks cool. And I'm just gonna ink up all the bits that you can see, and I have this last little thingamajiggy, you know, tab And I was going to put it on the side of that, but then I realized it will cover the writing on the side. So I'm going to put it on the top. There's a natural space for that. I've just sewn this as a ruffle onto just a piece of scrap so that I can easily glue that and then put it up there. That looks great. Shows you there's something more to be seen. Well, I think that that was all that I was planning to do for those pages. So we've got the front page with the beautiful wallpaper and our collage. I've got my little butterfly treasure vellum envelope that goes in there with the dangly things coming off. The next page we've got our envelope with our next pocket inside. That's done, and then we've got our journal entry here and another collage page, and that will do it for today. Thanks for joining me. Please let me know if you like this project. Love to hear from you. Bye for now.